The missing ranger. I always imagined my transfer to a new park would be a fresh start, a chance to leave behind the monotonous routine at my previous post. The new park, however, was shrouded in a different kind of mystery, one that whispered tales of a ranger who had vanished into thin air. I had been transferred here to uncover the truth behind his disappearance. But as I drove through the winding roads leading to the park, a knot tightened in my stomach, an instinctive warning of the challenges that lay ahead. The park was an expansive canvas of green, the towering trees forming an unbroken canopy that filtered the sunlight into a perpetual twilight. My first day was a blur of introductions and briefings, yet it was the peculiar behaviour of my colleagues that stood out. They were welcoming, yet there was a guardedness in their eyes, a reluctance to speak of the ranger who had gone missing. The park's headquarters was a modest wooden structure, nestled at the edge of a sprawling meadow. Its walls bore the scars of time and weather, yet it stood resolute, a sentinel at the boundary between civilization and wilderness. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of coffee and the murmur of conversations. My colleagues moved through their tasks with a practiced ease, yet their eyes betrayed a flicker of something unspoken, a hesitation, a secret locked away with no key. I took every opportunity to question them about the missing ranger, weaving my inquiries into casual conversations. Their responses were invariably vague, their words wrapped in a cloak of ambiguity. It was as if they had collectively agreed to erase his existence, to bury it beneath layers of silence. I couldn't shake the feeling that they knew more than they were willing to admit, that the forest held memories they were unwilling to confront. Determined to find answers, I began to dig into the park's records, scanning through reports and logs in search of clues. The ranger's name appeared sparingly, a ghost in the margins of official documents. His last recorded entry was mundane, a routine patrol that offered no hint of the darkness that would follow. Yet there was a gap, a space where his presence should have been, now filled with unanswered questions. My days were spent in the forest, my nights in the dim light of the headquarters, piecing together the puzzle of his disappearance. The forest remained an enigma, its secrets hidden beneath a canopy of leaves and shadows. Each step deeper into its embrace was a step further from the known world, a journey into the heart of mystery. One afternoon, while combing through a particularly dense section of the forest, I stumbled upon an old trail. It was overgrown, the path obscured by underbrush and fallen branches, yet something about it called to me, beckoning me forward. As I followed its winding course, the forest seemed to change around me, the air growing cooler, the light dimmer. The trail led to a clearing, a small oasis of sunlight amidst the trees. In the centre stood an ancient oak, its gnarled branches twisting skyward. Beneath its boughs lay a circle of stones, their surfaces etched with symbols that time had worn away. I felt an inexplicable pull toward them, a connection that defied logic. As I knelt to examine the stones, a chill ran through me, a whisper of the past brushing against my skin. I couldn't shake the feeling that the ranger had stood in this very spot, drawn by the same force that now held me captive. The forest was alive with possibilities, its shadows ripe with stories untold. As I rose to leave, a movement caught my eye. A flicker of light at the edge of the clearing, gone as quickly as it had appeared. I stood frozen, heart pounding, as the forest settled once more into silence. The encounter in the clearing lingered in my mind, a seed of curiosity that refused to be buried. I found myself returning to the spot time and again, each visit revealing new layers of the forest's enigmatic nature. The stones became a focal point of my investigation, their presence both reassuring and unsettling. As I delved deeper into the park's history, I uncovered tales of ancient rituals and whispered legends. The local folklore spoke of spirits that roamed the woods, guardians of the land who watched over those who entered. It was said that the forest had a will of its own, a consciousness that defied understanding. I couldn't dismiss the stories as mere superstition. They resonated with the experiences I had encountered, weaving a tapestry of mystery that demanded exploration. My colleagues, meanwhile, continued to regard me with polite detachment, their faces masks of professional courtesy. I sensed their unease, their reluctance to engage with the unknown. It was as if they had made peace with the forest's secrets, choosing to coexist rather than confront. Their silence only fueled my determination, driving me to seek the truth that lay hidden in the shadows. The whispers grew more insistent, a chorus of voices urging me onward. I felt their presence in the wind, in the rustle of leaves, in the very fabric of the forest. It was a language I couldn't understand, yet it spoke to me with a clarity that transcended words. The forest was calling, and I was powerless to resist. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, I ventured into the woods under the cloak of twilight. The air was cool, the light fading into a hushed symphony of colours. I followed the old trail once more, its path illuminated by the soft glow of the moon. As I reached the clearing, I was greeted by an unexpected sight. The stones were bathed in an ethereal light, their surfaces shimmering with an otherworldly glow. I approached with caution, my heart a drumbeat in the stillness. As I touched the stones, a wave of energy surged through me, a connection that transcended time and space. In that moment, I saw glimpses of the past, images of the missing ranger, his face etched with determination and fear. I felt his presence, a kindred spirit reaching out from the beyond. The vision faded as quickly as it had come, leaving me breathless and reeling. I knew then that the forest held the key to his disappearance, that the stones were a conduit to something greater than myself. As I made my way back to headquarters, the forest seemed to pulse with life, its whispers a constant companion. I felt a shift within myself, a change that mirrored the transformation of the woods. The mystery of the missing ranger was no longer a mere puzzle to be solved. It had become a part of me, an enigma that was as much a part of my soul as it was of the forest's. The following days were a blur of restless energy, my mind consumed by the forest's secrets. I could feel the ranger's presence everywhere, in the rustle of leaves, in the flicker of shadows, in the very air I breathed. It was as if he was guiding me, urging me to confront the truth that lay hidden beneath the surface. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, I began to explore the park with renewed vigour. Each day brought new discoveries, each night new revelations. The forest was a living entity, its trails a labyrinth of mystery that defied navigation. I found myself drawn to the abandoned cabin, its weathered walls a testament to time's passage. The cabin stood at the edge of a small clearing, its windows dark and empty. Inside, the air was thick with dust and decay, the remnants of a life long forgotten. As I searched its rooms, I found traces of the ranger's presence: a worn journal, a faded photograph, a map marked with cryptic symbols. Each item was a piece of the puzzle, a clue that led me deeper into the heart of the mystery. The journal was a revelation, its pages filled with the ranger's thoughts and observations. He had been plagued by the same whispers, the same shadows that now haunted my every step. His words spoke of a connection to the forest, a bond that transcended the boundaries of reality. I felt a kinship with him, a shared understanding of the forces at play. Yet there was a darkness in his words, a growing sense of fear and desperation. He had been drawn to the stones, just as I had, but his encounters had taken a more sinister turn. The forest had claimed him, its whispers a siren's call that lured him into the unknown. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was following in his footsteps, that the same fate awaited me if I dared to venture further. The decision weighed heavily on my mind, a constant tug-of-war between caution and curiosity. I knew that the answers lay in the clearing, that the stones held the key to the ranger's disappearance. Yet, I was acutely aware of the risks, of the danger that lurked in the shadows. The forest was a force to be reckoned with, its secrets a double-edged sword that cut both ways. Driven by a need to know, I returned to the clearing under the cover of night. The forest was alive with sound, a symphony of rustling leaves and distant calls. The stones glowed softly in the moonlight, their surfaces a canvas of light and shadow. As I stepped into the circle, I felt a familiar energy coursing through me, a connection that defied explanation. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of voices that filled my mind. I closed my eyes, letting the sound wash over me, feeling its rhythm in my bones. The forest was speaking to me, its language a tapestry of emotions that transcended words. I felt the ranger's presence once more, a guiding hand that led me deeper into the heart of the mystery. As the vision unfolded, I saw the past with a clarity that took my breath away. The ranger stood before the stones, his face etched with determination and fear. He was not alone. The forest was alive with shadows, figures that moved with a grace that defied understanding. They were guardians, protectors of the land, their presence a testament to the forest's ancient power. The ranger had been chosen, a vessel for the forest's will. His disappearance was not a tragedy, but a transformation, a journey into the unknown. The forest had claimed him, just as it was now claiming me. That realization was both exhilarating and terrifying, but I felt safe. The forest soothing me, beckoning me to merge and become one with it. A moment later, my vision became a blur, my hearing muffled. It got to the point where the sunlight seemed like a flicker of a candle, and the forest's sounds wasn't louder than a mere whisper. Everything became dark and silent. I didn't feel fear, no pain or fatigue. I was at peace,